Part 78. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 771. Chapter 771. Two brothers who deliberately caused trouble. Chinwan was speechless and blurted out, "Why do I feel like I blocked you and you can still be seen everywhere? Before I blocked him, I couldn't meet him unless I made a special appointment. After all, this guy doesn't go out much in Universal." Ji Xian opened his eyes and told lies, "You have misunderstood. We came here early in the morning to meet clients and had nothing to do after dinner, so it was purely a coincidence that we came to visit the park." "What client are you meeting today?" Fang Mingheng was confused. "Black Hawk's system is very complete. During the vacation, except for necessary positions, basically everyone rests. Customers also have to rest during the new year. At your level, you can't know yet." Fang Mingheng. Wrongly had a face as if everyone owed him money, and without saying a word, Chinwan said, "You two went to the park together, does my master know?" "Why did we tell Zhang Junlin when we went to the park?" Wrongly frowned. "Before I met Zhang Junlin, he and I took a bath in the same bathtub. Didn't I tell Zhang Junlin?" Ji Sun. He turned to look at Wrongly, as if he was sick, and he wanted to talk about it. "When you met Ji Sun, he was about 15 or 16. He was still bathing in a bathtub and had a very good relationship." "Ji Sun, why didn't you develop a relationship with him and instead came to harm my master?" "I'll tell you another day." Ji Sun wanted to kick his pig teammate beside him. He stayed at home and did not play games or cards with Gu Ziyu. He went out with him to enjoy the cold wind. Wrongly dared to say dirty things about him. Speaking of bathing in a bathtub, that happened many years ago. When he was first brought back by Lu Ziwen, he was a pure wolf cub with a gloomy temper. He had stains and injuries from fighting in the Colosseum, and no one was allowed to touch him. Wrongly roughly pushed him into the bathtub. Wrongly was a person who enjoyed himself. His bathtub was like a swimming pool and could accommodate 4 people, so they simply took a bath together. "We are all a family, don't be so aggressive and talk nicely." Fang Mingheng rarely saw Ji Sun quarrel with others. No matter what Ji Sun's nature was, he created a very stable character, with a smile as bright as a flower and a charming appearance. If he is not angry, except for those very close to him, no one can really understand his true nature. "Let's go shopping in another way," Chinwan said, and took Fang Mingheng to the flower garden on the right, ignoring Wrongly and Ji Xian, so as not to get angry. Mainly Wrongly, who had a very bad temper due to the pregnancy reaction for so long. He is impatient and wants to express his anger when he sees Wrongly. There are 4 districts in Maple Leaf Park. Each district has lakes, maple forests, and racecourses in the south, east, and west. It is very beautiful and can only be visited in one day. Fang Mingheng turned around and spread his hands towards them. Ji Sun made a fist gesture. "Don't stare when the person walks away," Ji Sun said angrily. "You are so sultry that you actually fell in love with Chinwan. When did this happen? Who said I have a crush on her? Then why did you drag me to the park? You can come alone. If you didn't want to go to the theater, would you come? If you don't have any chance, what are you afraid of me seeing?" Ji Xian smiled ambiguously. "Is the child in his belly yours?" "No," Ji Sun was surprised. "Really?" "I said no." Ji Sun took a bite of the big melon and said, "Then you are quite infatuated." "Get out," Wrongly was furious. "Can you be quiet?" Ji Sun was not quiet and asked, "Do you really want to go to the park with me?" Zhang Junlin did not see Ji Sun when he returned home, so he asked Gu Ziyu, "Where is Ji Sun?" "He and Wrongly went to the park," Gu Ziyu said, showing him the pictures Ji Sun sent. "The scenery in Maple Leaf Park is quite beautiful." Zhang Junlin. "He went out to the park. Why did he send photos to Gu Ziyu but not to him?" Just as he was thinking this dissatisfiedly, his phone vibrated and more than a dozen pictures were sent to him, and Zhang Junlin's lips curled up. "When are you coming back?" Ji Huan replied, "Don't mention it, I'll talk to you when I get back." He and Rong Li walked around and met Fang Mingheng and Qin Wan again. They were eating. Qin Wan was hungry again. Rong Li and Ji Xian also ate and sat together unconsciously. Rong Li ordered stinky tofu and Ji Xian ordered a bowl of noodles. "You eat so much," Ji Sun saw the empty box on the table, and Fang Mingheng pointed at Qin Wan. "She ate all of it, you are probably pregnant with a young man who can eat so much." "Qin Wan, can you still separate a man and a woman?" "The chance of 50% is quite high," Ji Xian chuckled. Although Rong Li scolded him angrily, he still graciously refused to argue with his enemy and helped him find out the news. "Why did you make an appointment to hang out together?" "Park. I want to chase her," Fang Mingheng said truthfully and openly. "It's over before it even begins." "The rightful owner is here, and he doesn't know how to evaluate it. My condolences." Qin Wan. She suspected that Rong Li brought Ji Sun here deliberately to cause trouble for her. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 772. Chapter 772 Ji Sun teaches you how to chase people. Rong Li didn't say a word to Qin Wan. Ji Sun was worried for him. After Qin Wan and Fang Mingheng left, Ji Sun said, "Why are you pretending to be cold? You have to act like you are chasing someone." "I'm not chasing anyone." "Okay, you're not chasing anyone, and you've seen enough of the scenery. Let's go home." Ji Sun didn't tolerate him. Rong Li sat still. Ji Sun spread his hands. "Master, what are you angry about?" She didn't know which wild man she got pregnant with, so it's okay. After she got pregnant, she gave me a report and wanted me to be her father. "Ji Sun, there is also this matter, Jinbang, why do you want U11 to be your father? How do I know that I look like such a wronged person?" Ji Xian thought to himself, this is not very similar. Knowing that she is pregnant and dating Fang Mingheng, and doing this without hesitation, it means that it is not the child that you care about, and you don't know what you are awkward about. Some time ago, Chen Liangdong did arrange a lot of blind dates for Qin Wan. She mostly escaped from them, and occasionally met a few people. Could it be that she was a blind date? It's none of my business, who cares who her child is? Then what do you want? I don't know. Rong Li's tone was even more domineering than that of a bully. Ji Sun looked at the sky speechlessly. "I really don't understand how difficult it is for you scholars to say that you like someone alone. I liked my brother back then, and I wished I could be in his ear one day. Say it 3 times, I wish I could record it and let him use it as a ringtone. Even if he doesn't like you at the time, it will subtly brainwash him. When he wants to consider a partner, he might give you priority. Is this how you pursue Zhang Junlin? This is Ji Sun's professional field." He snapped his fingers arrogantly and taught Rong Li his experience. "I like him and I never hide it. You know it, and the third master also knows it. Why don't you let him know it?" "I not only let him know, I also talked about it everywhere, and then made my presence known every now and then. I first gave him a gift, and he sent it back intact. As long as he and I were in the same city, I would look for him to eat and spend time alone. He didn't want to come, so I naturally had a way to get him to come, and then I asked him how he was doing, and he even blocked me. Since he didn't like this way of pursuing me, I tried another way, so I made him feel uncomfortable every now and then. I still don't know that he is the master of the Yakuza. In addition to causing trouble for Hualan Bank, I also vented my anger on the Yakuza and caused trouble for the Yakuza everywhere. During that time, he came to me frequently. In fact, I should have noticed it earlier. Beauty trap, I was so confused that I didn't see it. But I have a keen intuition and keep causing trouble for Jideo and Hualan. Isn't it my decision to send him to his door? Ji-sun blinked and said mischievously, chasing people and doing projects is the same thing. If one path doesn't work, don't go to death. If you try another path, things may become clearer. I'm a tireless person, and I'm registered anyway. This is a bit too much. It's a bit too much for you to show off when you pursue someone. Of course, if you show off and people come to you, you still have the ability. Do you think Qin will take care of you? Rong Li almost looked at how he was tortured by Zhang Junlin and looked at him with disgust. The scar was healed and he forgot the pain. He had forgotten all about how pitiful he was in those few years. Why are you looking at me like that? Continue. Ji-sun lost the desire to share. In short, you should change your strategy. I don't pursue Qin, nor do I like Qin. Then why did you come to the park? Enjoy the scenery. Okay, you have the toughest mouth in the whole body. Ji Xian rolled his eyes, but the maple leaf forest was indeed beautiful, so it was not a bad idea to go out. He had stayed at home to recuperate for a long time. Rong Li was thoughtful, and Ji-sun took him to the race course. Unfortunately, Fang Mingheng and Qin were also at the race course. I came here, and I didn't mean to follow you, Ji-sun explained hurriedly. Rong Li said with a vicious mouth, you are less than 3 months pregnant. Aren't you afraid of losing the baby when you race? Ji-sun. Oh my god, brother, you can stay silent and be mute. None of your business, Qin shot back, I'm not your child, so you don't need to worry about it. She had no intention of running a horse race in the first place. Fang Mingheng became interested when he saw the racetrack and wanted to run a few laps. She just recorded a video for Fang Mingheng on the sidelines. Rong Li's face turned dark. He and Qin had nothing nice to say. Ji Huan asked a horse to run with Fang Mingheng, deliberately creating a two-person world for Rong Li and Qin. He and Fang Mingheng competed for 2 rounds, and they were neck and neck. Fang Mingheng had been an equestrian since elementary school, and Ji Xian only learned equestrian at the age of 18 in order to have a common conversation with Zhang Junlin. He had a good sense of body balance and a good riding feeling, so he learned it good. Fang Mingheng asked, Xiao Sun, what's going on with Rong Li and Qin? Enemies. There was a spy who lurked around Rong Li for several years in the past and fell in love with Rong Li. Rong Li always knew his identity but never revealed it. Qin felt that he deliberately used a honey trap to induce him to betray the information. The conscience of heaven and earth, a woman who has been with Rong Li for a few years and falls in love with him is really not a honey trap, it is definitely true love. Rong Li is the only woman I know, a rare animal. It's really complicated. Rong Li is quite unjust. Why doesn't he explain? What's the explanation for this? His personality is too charming and it's not his fault that he is loved. Fang Mingheng laughed, and Ji-sun asked, aren't you going after Qin anymore? She is pregnant and planning to give birth. In fact, I don't mind too much, but after all, we just met and the relationship is not deep. I stopped the loss in time. My family would not agree, Fang Mingheng said with a chuckle, there is no place in the world. Fragrant grass. The pattern, Ji-sun thought to himself, this is great, there is no risk of brothers falling in love with the same person, the next one will be better behaved. Fang Mingheng laughed. Qin and Rong Li were performing mime on the sidelines, and they were deliberately separated by 3 or 4 meters. We were not familiar with the capital letters. Qin had just been ridiculed by Rong Li, and she really wanted to go for a run, but reason restrained her anger. For the sake of her children, she still didn't take risks, but when she saw Rong Li, she didn't understand, what are you doing, being a goalpost and not going to the horse race? I don't want to go, Rong Li said expressionlessly, it stinks. Qin. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 773. Chapter 773 You are not suitable. Wrongly looked at Qinhuan out of the corner of his eye. She was sending a message on her cell phone, but she didn't pay attention to him. Wrongly moved a few steps in her direction. Qinhuan put away the cell phone, and wrongly stood there as if nothing had happened. Fang Mingheng is a playboy, and his predecessor was able to form 3 football teams. Wrongly said the truth inexplicably. Qinhuan raised his eyebrows, so. I'm afraid you'll be deceived when you're in love. You and Fang Mingheng are brothers, right? Isn't it appropriate for you to say that? If there is anything inappropriate, it's not like I haven't said it to my face. Qinhuan mocked and said, it's normal for people like you to have no friends, just Jisun and Sanya. I suspect that you 3 are joining a group to keep warm, because no one makes friends with you. Then we don't bother making friends with people. Qinhuan was too lazy to roll his eyes. Birds of a feather flock together. Wrongly almost yelled at her again, but thinking of Jisun's words, he tried his best to hold it back. We had a good relationship before and after the new year. What did I do to offend you? Wrongly didn't understand why she turned against him, and the relationship was worse than when we first met. I also want to ask, where did I offend you? It feels good to plant a seed, and now it has blossomed and bore fruit. If you turn your back on it, she will still be wronged. Didn't you start it first? I'm too lazy to tell you. Qinhuan was already irritable and didn't want to argue with him, but wrongly suddenly said, is it true that Chen Liangdong is urging the marriage? You are pregnant and are anxious to find a father for your child. Qinhuan, what are you talking about? Why else did you come to me with the report? Wrongly was so worried about this matter that he almost became sick. Qinhuan took a deep breath and suppressed the fire in his heart. You guessed it right. My dad is a little annoyed and keeps dragging me to the blind date bureau. He thinks that if I go to the grassroots for a few years, I won't even think about falling in love and getting married, so I might as well get it done as soon as possible. He can also have grandchildren. I was so driven that I suddenly had a child, so I suddenly wanted to find someone to take advantage of. We met quite frequently during this period, and I fell in love with you. Qinhuan is calm, let's see if I don't make you mad to death. Oh, wrongly mocked, really? Qinhuan was quite surprised when the expected violent outburst did not appear. What was wrong with this person? She even humiliated him like this. He was not even angry, but he was still angry at her for holding a report sheet. What a shame. More real than pearls. Qinhuan was furious. I was careless, I apologize. Wrongly's face was expressionless and he didn't know what he was thinking. Ji Xian and Fang Mingheng saw Qinhuan's posture as if he was provoking them. They were afraid that they would argue, so they rode over. Wrongly didn't even have time to ask. Qinhuan said impatiently, let's go home. Wrongly caught up a few steps and was pulled by Ji Xian. Qinhuan is angry, so don't provoke her. I'm not angry. Look in the mirror and look at your face. Are you not angry? Ji Xian complained, I'm dating Fang Mingheng and you want to interfere, but you don't talk to me properly. You know this is an ineffective interference, right? Wrongly glared at him, and Ji Xian spread his hands and said, comparing your temper with Fang Mingheng, I want Qinhuan to choose Fang Mingheng. Qinhuan was so angry that he didn't want to eat dinner and just wanted to go home. Fang Mingheng was also a gentleman and sent him home. He happened to meet Chen Liangdong and Dr. North after get off work. Dr. North went to the National Security Bureau to pick up Chen Liangdong. Fang Mingheng got out of the car and greeted Chen Liangdong before leaving. They all knew that little Cherry went to the park today, and they didn't ask her who she was going with. Isn't this just a date? Chen Liangdong said with a smile on his face, Little Cherry, who is this? Fang Ming hung. The young man looks good and has a good temperament. Vice President of Black Hawk Asia Qin Wan announced his identity with a smile and cut off Chen Liangdong's compliment. Forget it, Chen Liangdong said in a natural tone, it's not appropriate. Dr. North. Moi. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 774. Chapter 774, Not in the Right Place. Qin Wan ate too much during the day and thought she would be able to hold on. Unexpectedly, she didn't eat dinner and was hungry at 9 o'clock. Dr. North knew that all she ate in the afternoon was hot and sour noodles, so he prepared pumpkin porridge for her at night to prevent her from eating. Feeling uncomfortable, Qin Wan went out. His appetite improved and he ate many snacks. Chen Liangdong asked, "Why did you date someone from Black Eagle?" "It's not a date, we just happened to go to the park together." Ji Xian and Rong Li also went there. Qin Wan said, "The park is beautiful this season, so everyone went to the park." Chen Liangdong breathed a sigh of relief. "You don't like him, the child isn't his, right?" "I am pregnant with the child and I haven't met the family yet." Dr. North was peeling an orange and asked with a frown, "Why did Rong Li and Ji Sun go to the park? Did they meet by chance?" "Right." Dr. North nodded and gave her the orange. Qin Wan looked at their prepared faces and was a little puzzled. "Do you have anything to say?" "You can marry anyone. Dad doesn't have to be a good match. As long as you like it and have a clean family background, it's fine," Chen Liangdong said softly, "but Black Eagle, definitely not." Qin Wan felt clear in his heart, "I know." Dr. North frowned, "Do you really know?" "I know." Qin Wan stuffed all the oranges into his mouth in one breath. "Don't worry, I won't marry anyone from Black Eagle, nor will I fall in love with anyone from Black Eagle, so don't worry." Chen Liangdong wanted to say something else, but Qin Wan interrupted the conversation. "Okay, I'm going to go upstairs to sleep. Good night, parents." She ran away quickly, not wanting to talk to them about such a heavy topic. Chen Liangdong asked, "Is there really something going on between her and Fang Mingheng?" "I just asked my son to check Fang Mingheng's information. He is a playboy. He can't pay off his peach blossom debt in a few years. He is not a good match." North said, "You should still worry about her belly." "How to explain it?" Qin Wan tossed and turned and couldn't sleep. She got up and played 2 games. She was inexplicably irritated and cursed her teammates when she lost. Dr. North heard her irritably cursing at the door, "You're pregnant with a child. Don't be so irritable and angry, harmful to the body." These bad teammates can't get out of the game without scolding them. Although Qin Wan had a bad temper, it wasn't really harmful to her health. The main reason was that she didn't take her temper seriously and felt relieved after scolding her. After kneeling several times, Qin Wan threw away her phone, rubbed her belly and asked, "Your dad is on my dad's blacklist, did you know?" Her father would be so angry that he would have a heart attack if he knew it was Rong Li's child. Ji Xian and Rong Li went home after dinner. It was already 9 o'clock. Zhang Junlin said, "You and Rong Li went out on a date. You could go on a date all day long, walk in the park, eat, and take a walk after the meal. Did you come home so late?" Ji Huan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Brother, your tone is so sour." Zhang Junlin said, "What's for dinner?" "Cantonese food, clear soup with little water, no chili pepper at all, I swear." Ji Sun didn't dare to joke about his body. Rong Li actually fell in love with Qin Wan, do you dare to believe it? "What?" Zhang Junlin narrowed his eyes, "who does he like?" "Qin Wan," Ji Sung said excitedly, "Fang Mingheng is our vice president of Asia. He was originally on a blind date with Zhou Jinjin, but he fell in love with Qin Wan. Today, Qin Wan and I went to the park and posted on Moments. We just posted on Moments. Within an hour of being around, Rong Li said he was bored and asked me if I wanted to go to the park. Oh, no, I wasn't asking. He was ordering me to go to the park with him to enjoy the scenery. Zhang Junlin had no expression on his face. Is he sick? Ji Sun. He knew that his brother would ridicule him. Anyone who was a member of the Ji Dao would want to ridicule him. Ji Sun said, it's okay if he likes Jin Wan. If he doesn't talk to him nicely, if he insists on saying something thorny, Jin Wan will block him. He still doesn't know how to repent. He said he likes Jin Wan. How is it possible? I saw it. It's too obvious. Okay, Ji Sun said, around the new year, they often go out to eat alone, and their relationship has eased a lot during that time. They didn't have any business contacts, so let's exclude them. Isn't this just a date? Zhang Junlin took the phone and typed without raising his head and said, you continue. Qin Wan, who was lying on the bed making pancakes, received a message from Zhang Junlin. Is your child Rong Li's? Qin Wan stood upright, her heartbeat quickened, and as long as she denied it, no one could force her to admit, no. Zhang Junlin, tell the truth. This matter was going to be embarrassing, causing Qin Wan to deny it even to the point of death. Qin Wan, really not. Zhang Junlin, okay, I believe it. Qin Wan secretly thought that if the master found out that she had lied, he would kill her. Why did he ask? Did Ji Xian say something to him when he went home? Qin Wan gritted her teeth. She knew that running into Rong Li would be bad. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 775. Chapter 775 Rong Li with a mouth. Early the next morning, the first day of work in the new year. Ji Huan also returned to Huangkai early in the morning. There was a large meeting in the morning, which he had to chair. Zhang Junlin originally wanted to go to the Chen family to find Qin Wan, but due to an emergency failure in the backend data of Hualin Bank, he turned around and went to Hualin Bank on the way. Lu Ziwen and Gu Si's plane also landed at the international airport, and Li Zhang went to pick them up. Li Zhang is now being trained by Ji Sun. He will fly to Europe in a week and stay in Europe all year round. Lu Ziwen also agrees to Ji Sun's arrangement. Li Zhang is single. I have no worries and am willing to experience it. This is an excellent opportunity. Although Black Hawk's focus has shifted to China, Europe, and the United States are still the largest financial markets in the world and cannot be ignored. Without a single trusted person, there are only a few major families, and Chen Rishi used to have a close relationship, and Lu Ziwen and Ji Sun were worried. The appointments have been made. Li Zhang has been with Lu Ziwen for more than 10 years. During this time, he should have rested, but he wanted to continue to be Lu Ziwen's bodyguard before taking office, and Lu Ziwen had no objection. Gu Si did not go home and reported to the hospital as soon as she got off the plane. Ji Huan finished the meeting and Lu Ziwen had already packed up. He talked to Lu Ziwen about Black Hawk's development plan for this year as usual. Lu Ziwen said, send someone to keep an eye on Chen Rishi and don't let him act rashly. I know, I've been sending people to keep an eye on me. Ji Sun didn't expect Chen Rishi to be so courageous and dare to plot against Gu Si and Lu Ziwen behind their backs. This is a standard villain who has never done anything on his own and encouraged them behind their backs. Other people, Tang Mingzhou in the past and Pei Chuying today, are both his pawns. He himself was unwilling to give up his glory and wealth, nor did he dare to risk everything. Third Master, if you want to deal with Chen Rishi, it's very simple. The eldest lady of Kang'an Medical is a good chess piece. They have a good relationship foundation. After the Kang'an family was almost wiped out, Chen Rishi took care of their sisters. If she knew that Chen Rishi was the person behind the tragedy, the relationship would naturally break down. With her connections, it would not be easy for Chen Rishi to live in peace. It would be easier for them to fight internally than for us to do anything. Lu Ziwen never wanted to take advantage of Miss Kongan. Her life itself was a tragedy. She was the apple of her eye, and her family's plane crashed. Now that Kongan's actual control was in Chen Rishi's hands, she had no choice but to lure the wolf into the house. This is the ending. Fortunately, the family has a lot of connections. Chen Rishi doesn't dare to do anything to kill the donkey. The sisters are still living a comfortable life, drinking afternoon tea and attending ladies' parties. If this matter is exposed, I'm afraid that there are no more peaceful days. But was Chen Rishi responsible for the plane crash? 9 times out of 10 it was him who did it. Let's check it out first. Okay, Lu Ziwen brought gifts to both Ji-sun and Rong Li. Each of them had a watch, both of which were limited editions for the new year. The two looked like couple watches. Ji-sun said, Rong Li has one more watch collect. Ji Xian loves to buy cars. He once collected an antique car, a very expensive antique car. However, because the noise did not meet the standards, the car was not put on the road and accumulated dust in the garage. Rong Li likes to collect watches. These are relatively expensive hobbies. How is Rong Li? There was an abnormality in the data center this morning. We are busy, Ji-sun said. Third master, are you gossiping too? I don't gossip. Lu Ziwen calmed down. So, he wants to pursue Qin Wan. He talks hard and won't pursue him. It's not appropriate. The bad relationship will end sooner or later. I don't care. Chen Liangdong won't agree. Lu Ziwen saw clearly. He and Gu Ci didn't have the worries of their elders. Ji-sun and Zhang Junlin didn't have the worries of their elders either. Zhang the family accepted Ji-sun easily. It is not easy for Chen Liangdong to accept Rong Li with Rong Li's character. It is impossible for him to be a lowly person. Like a dead end. Isn't it right that people in China are so particular about being well matched? Our ancestors have adhered to the tradition for more than 1,000 years, and there is a certain reason for that. Lu Ziwen said lightly, Cinderella meeting the prince is like a fairy tale. Third master, if Xiaosai were a Cinderella, would you still like her? That's different, Lu Ziwen said. Ji Xian thought to himself, you are a double standard. Qin Wanwan had nothing to do at home, so she came to the global library. She didn't come to the global library specifically, but it was the library with the most complete collection of books in the city, and the cakes were delicious. She would come to the library when she had nothing to do and had already started preparing a paper. Even though I am pregnant, I still have to write my thesis. The library also has thesis review, which is very convenient for collecting information. Qin Wan did not expect to meet Rong Li, but he was so elusive that he appeared in the library again and even brought her lunch. Qin Wan blurted out, poisoned. Rong Li's face turned dark, and he almost couldn't stand the question of whether he wanted to eat or not. Then don't eat it. No, Qin Wan snatched the box back. She saw the packaging bag. It was her favorite Cantonese food. Rong Li also thoughtfully packed her a portion of fish maw chicken soup. Qin Wan said, I'm so considerate for nothing. Either or robbery, what do you want to do? On Christmas Day, I was drunk. Who sent me to the hotel? Qin Wan. Moi. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 776. Chapter 776, When did the fragmentation begin? Qin Wan looked at Rong Li with a puzzled look. It was a coincidence that day. After watching a movie, the two of them mocked each other a few times, and went to the bar together out of anger. Rong Li didn't like nightclubs, so he had no chance of spending time with him. Socializing in the second half was basically Ji-sun's job. Just because Chinwan mocked him, Ji-sun must have said something unobtrusively. No matter what personality a man has, he can't accept a woman's denial, so he was holding it back for a while. Chinwan went to the bar with her in tone. Chinwan also booked a booth. He came here the week before and stocked up on drinks. The two of them came to the bar to have fun. Rongli has outstanding appearance, tall and long legs, and a model figure. He exercises all year round and is full of hormones. He is a charm transmitter walking around the bar. He is very popular in the bar. Many women come to ask for their contact information, but they are all ignored. Wrongly refused. Chinwan asked, "You can choose whether you are fat or thin, but you don't really like Ji-sun. If you don't love Ji-sun, you still keep your body like jade, right?" Wrongly. In a moment of anger, he rarely added contact information to the next girl who came to ask for her contact information, and also invited her to drink. The girl was fair-skinned and beautiful, with exquisite makeup. She was a financial elite. People in the industry could chat with Rong Li when they got together. The two kept drinking. The young lady came to the bar not alone, but also had two best friends, so the three of them came over to play with Rong Li. Rong Li was always teased by Chinwan for liking Ji-sun. He had long since held his breath and deliberately showed off in front of her. However, Chinwan didn't take it to heart and went to the dance floor to dance. The dance floor was particularly lively that day and there was a steel pole on the stage. To dance, Chinwan put her hands on the stage and danced a pole dance. Her figure was enchanting and her movements were charming, winning thunderous applause from the bar. Rong Li was also attracted by Chinwan on the stage. She had thrown her coat somewhere long ago and was wearing a tube top and low-waisted shorts, revealing her fair waist. The male partner dancing with her was still caressing her waist, and the two of them acted like they were flirting. Rong Li was so angry that he drank almost all the wine poured by the beauty in one gulp. He was so angry that he wanted to grab her off the stage, but Chinwan danced so passionately that they both deliberately competed with each other. One is on the stage and the other is shouting from afar. "Brother, is this your sister on stage?" the beauty asked Rong Li. After all, she didn't look like a boyfriend and girlfriend. If she was a girlfriend, how could she let such a beauty drink with the girls? "Not familiar," Rong Li replied harshly. He was nodding heavily, his vision was blurred, and he was half drunk. "We don't know each other well, why don't we come to the bar to have fun together? Do you have any opinion?" "No, no," sensing that Rong Li was angry, the beauties also saw that this handsome guy had a bad temper and didn't dare to provoke him. "Come on, drink, drink." Rong Li soon got drunk. Losing his mind, he threw away the beauties, walked through the crowded crowd, and jumped onto the stage with the deafening music. Others mistakenly thought that another beauty was dancing, but Rong Li grabbed Chinwan and held her in his arms. Kiss. A burst of applause, screams, and cheers erupted from the audience. Several men who had taken a fancy to Chinwan and wanted to kiss Fangs were stunned. Chinwan was also stunned. He didn't understand why Rong Li suddenly jumped on the stage and kissed her in full view of everyone. The bar is an easy place to get drunk, not to mention Chinwan also drank alcohol, her hormones surged, and she kissed him back, and the two of them almost clashed on the stage. Rong Li became even more domineering when he was drunk. He took off his clothes and wrapped her up, swearing his sovereignty in a rough voice, "Mine." Chinwan snorted, "Who is you? You have a beautiful idea." He is so rude, but his lips are quite soft. Very kissable. Chinwan, Rong Li was furious. The two of them were crowded on the dance floor, and the music just started playing again, and there was another carnival dance on the dance floor. Everyone was passionately releasing their enthusiasm. The environment and alcohol were both heady. Rong Li grabbed Chinwan and held her in his arms. Chinwan was kissed on the head by him under the dim light, and the rest fell into place. There is a hotel upstairs, and it was so easy to book a room. Wrongly was conscious the whole time, so Chinwan never thought about him. So, you are fragmented and don't remember anything. Chinwan was thinking about another thing at this time. Wrongly was really a young girl because he had found the wrong door and almost made her misunderstand that he really liked Ji Soon. However, he said out of nowhere that he had no experience. First of all, second rate. When Chinwan was confused and infatuated at that time, he always had a look on his face. After all, he had misunderstood his beauty trap to lure Xiaomin to rebel many years ago, so he was really inexperienced. This fragment is broken. Didn't I even forget my first experience? Chinwan raised her eyebrows and looked at him with a half-smile. The evil fire in her heart strangely disappeared. I would like to ask you politely, when did you start cutting off the pieces? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 777. Chapter 777, Cheating Yourself and Money. Wrongly actually remembers nothing from the time he got drunk. He doesn't even remember what happened in the bar, let alone taking the initiative to kiss Chinwan. He doesn't have any sporadic memories. He just has a broken constitution after drinking. When you get drunk, you forget everything you do, so you know your own constitution and generally don't drink indiscriminately. When he woke up the next day, there was only one person in the room, and it was in a mess. There was a large car accident scene, with traces of a night of revelry left behind. Even if he didn't have any experience, he would know what was going on, not to mention that he was covered in violent scratches. Traces coming out. He was confused, and after washing up and going out, he met the young lady who had been drinking with him in the bar last night. The young lady came out from the next room. She had just spent a night of spring supper. She was still excited when she saw Wrongly it was worth sleeping with such a good person once, so she took the initiative to strike up a conversation. Wrongly misunderstood. After all, his memory only stayed before drinking with her. Did you send me here? Yes, little brother, you are my absolute favorite. The beauty's eyes were as charming as silk, and the hint was very strong. Wrongly scolded Chinwan dozens of times in his heart for leaving him drunk with a stranger. He even had a night of partying with the stranger. Wrongly's first words were, "Do you have a physical report? Little sister." The young lady's face turned black on the spot. The subtext of these words was almost a direct question, "Are you okay? Don't infect me." The young lady is quite well educated. Anyway, as a man, temper is not important and I won't marry him. Don't worry, I'm in good health. I'm not sick or in pain. You need to be sick to claim compensation. The young lady actually saw that he was broken and couldn't remember anything. The scratches on his neck looked very ambiguous, so she rushed as for Wrongly, "Do you have a physical report?" She didn't intend to tell Wrongly the truth, and deliberately misled Wrongly. "Brother, you performed very well. I like it very much. Let's make an appointment next time." Wrongly had no expression on his face. "I drank too much yesterday and don't remember much. I'll forward it to you how much the room fee is, and how much compensation you need, and give me a price." The young lady was dressed up from head to toe for more than 100,000 yuan. She was not short of money. She was almost mad at Wrongly. She was really handsome and wild. At first sight, she had a crush on the young lady who came with her last night, but she was so stubborn. If you don't express your love, you will get angry when you see someone dancing on stage. What a tsundere. That's not necessary. With your looks and figure, I go to the sea every day. The young lady was very good-tempered and deliberately teased him. Wrongly actually transferred 10 times the room rate to her. After transferring the money, he went out. He blocked her and disappeared. The young lady really wanted to sleep with him, but unfortunately she was blocked. She was almost furious, and it was even more impossible for her to tell him the truth. Rong Li was in his 30s. Although it was a bit outrageous to encounter such a thing for the first time, she could no matter what, he was the man who always suffered a loss. He drank and did something wrong, and he wanted to make up for it sincerely. But he saw that the young lady was in love with me, and there was no criminal plot. He was determined, after all, if when he wakes up and is taken to court, Black Eagle's face will be completely disgraced. Speaking of this matter, I also want to talk about you. You actually left me in the bar with a group of strangers when we went to the bar together. You are really generous. What if it was a commercial espionage from the other party? Wake up and take me to court. Where can I go to argue? Because of this, Rong Li ignored Qinwan for several days. He was more cautious and went to the drugstore to buy blocking medicine when he went out. What disease did you catch? This romantic night did not leave any traces in his heart. After all, he could not remember anything, so naturally there were no traces. It's just an encounter between men and women of urban food. Qinwan was about to die from laughter. So, not only did he forget his first experience, he was also defrauded of his money. Why are you laughing? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 778. Chapter 778, Peach Blossom Debt due to a strange combination of circumstances. Qinwan was overjoyed and felt that she had been wronged. After all, she tacitly acknowledged that Rong Li knew the whole story, so when the report was given to him, he should have known that the child was his. Who knew that he would not remember anything, but only in his memory? If this was not the case, she would naturally not know that the child was his, and it would be reasonable to suspect that it was someone else's. She had been angry for nothing this week, and had nightmares about beating Rong Li. When did you have these symptoms? What? You didn't tell me the symptoms of alcohol addiction, so how could I know? Rong Li didn't even know why Qinwan's mood suddenly improved. It was baffling. You knew it when you got drunk for the first time. No wonder you don't come out to socialize. Our country has a drinking culture, and you really can't adapt. Wine is not a good thing, I don't like it. Qinwan touched her chin, thinking of that night. Wine is still a good thing. So, was it really that woman who sent me up? Everyone has admitted it, why do you still doubt it? Qinwan smiled. It was like another bright spot. Who would have thought that this would happen? You'll pick on anyone who lets you go out. Rong Li actually had no doubts about the whole thing. Ji Xian told him a joke the day before yesterday. A financial man in their circle cheated on him while drunk, and then his wife kept him and fighting with his mistress. The man was so excited that he fainted, and the no woman helped him up, so he remembered the time when he was drunk. How could that woman, who was just over 1.6 meters tall, with such a small body, be able to hold him up? Qinwan burst into laughter. Rong Li was in a drunken state, and he answered fluently. He could walk on his own. He looked very sober and did not need help. She just gave him a hand when he felt dizzy. 3 young ladies were drinking together, and maybe they sent you up together. They are very lucky, Qinwan teased him. Rong Li's face darkened. Why did you hand me over to someone you don't know? You keep saying that we are not familiar with each other, why should I care about you? Qinwan asked back. Rong Li suffered a heart attack, but Qinwan was not in a good mood. If you really want to think about it, you can add the young lady back. Quite satisfied with you. Rong Li. Actually, he didn't have to worry about this matter. If he really wanted to, he would go check the surveillance system himself. He was just looking for a reason to see Qinwan. Who knew he would be angry with Qinwan? It was a dream without a trace. Everything had happened. He didn't like to pursue it the most. If the follow-up protection was done well and it didn't cause trouble, then there was no need to worry about it. Chinwan had blocked him and he had no official duties. Chinwan and I really didn't know what to say, for fear of starting another argument. Chinwan looked at Rongli amusedly, but became concerned about Rongli's past. You've never been social, that's why you have this kind of physique, so haven't you ever gotten into debt because of this physique? You were never drunk when you were abroad. Have you ever met anyone else? No. Chinwan raised his eyebrows and said, don't say it so firmly. Even if it is true, you won't remember it. After all, you are drunk. I haven't allowed myself to get drunk a few times. One time I got drunk, and Ji-sun was by my side. If there are no acquaintances present, I never drink too much. I was just afraid that I would get into trouble. Are acquaintances present? Chinwan secretly thought, so they went to a carnival together on Christmas that day. In Rongli's heart, she was still an acquaintance. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 779. Chapter 779 What to do if you are pregnant. Chinwan was in a good mood and had a good appetite. She ate all the food Rongli brought by herself. Rongli couldn't help complaining, what kind of big eater are you pregnant with? Can you eat so much? It's not that the embryos are edible, it's that I have a good appetite. Chinwan said, I had bad morning sickness some time ago and I lost 6 pounds. If I can't eat anymore, my mother will grab me for infusion. Rongli pursed his lips and said nothing, looking at her belly a little unhappily. So, you were drunk that day, slept with someone and got pregnant. That's right. Chinwan blinked, you guessed it right, a stranger. I also woke up from my sleep. I gave him a check and disappeared. Then why don't you take medicine? Rongli said with a dark face, didn't you expect that pregnancy would be troublesome? Chinwan. She really didn't think about it, because the next day was a party, and she went there late, so she hurried over, and only remembered it in the evening, and it was too late to take medicine. In fact, she really didn't think about it. Nowadays, infertility departments are like supermarkets during the new year. It is not that easy to conceive a child. She is still polycystic. Who knows if her body has been adjusted well? She even wonders if her mother has adjusted her body to be easy to conceive. I feel very good, a God-given baby, my blessing. Rongli gritted his teeth, feeling unhappy but said nothing. Chinwan reminded him, it's time for you to go to work. Rongli suddenly said, would you like to have dinner together tonight? Chinwan. Brother, are you okay? I get off work at 5 o'clock. You check the paper and wait for me. He dropped these words and left. Chinwan scoffed, who wants to wait for you to have dinner together? Although the misunderstanding has been resolved, she is really serious this time, still angry. She had already started writing the manuscript of her paper, and she had no intention of waiting for Rongli, but by the time she finished a section of her paper, it was already 5:10. The library took care of the Black Hawk people who worked all night, and it did not close until 10 o'clock in the evening. Many people nearby come here to work at night to receive guests. Chen Liangdong called and said, little Cherry, Dad is working overtime today. There is food in the refrigerator. You can eat it if you heat it up. If you don't have an appetite, just wait until Dad comes home in the evening and cook it for you. Okay, you can work overtime and don't worry about me. Chen Liangdong is good at chatting with everyone, and he can carry a gun on the battlefield. He is also very capable of taking care of himself. After getting married, his biggest hobby is to prepare delicious food for his wife and daughter after work. North and they are very similar in that they both like to specialize in cooking. She tapped her fingers on the table, and as soon as she hung up the phone, Wrongly appeared. What do you want to eat? Brother, have I promised to have dinner with you? Chen Liangdong works overtime and you don't go home for dinner. Why don't you have dinner together? I just have something to tell you. What's up? Let's go eat first. There are several restaurants in Universal, including Cantonese, Thai, Western and French dishes. Qin Wan chose Thai food and ordered curry fried crab without any politeness. He also ordered some meat and asked Wrongly to do more. Just order, Wrongly ordered a vegetable dish. When Qin Wan was writing the paper in the afternoon, she was more focused. Now that her mind was free, she began to feel a little confused. Should she tell Wrongly again? Originally, she wanted to tell Wrongly when she got the report. If it weren't for Wrongly's fragment, he should have known about it now. Will he be happy or angry? Does he like children or not? Is he a dink? Ji Sun said that he has a very normal relationship with his family, he doesn't go back during the Chinese New Year, and his relationship is relatively weak. How does he feel when he finds out that he has a child? Should she still tell him? The fragment was broken because of a physical problem. You can't blame him. He didn't do it on purpose. But the opportunity to confess was missed. The two of them had been exchanging nasty words recently. Telling him again felt like a prank. Forget it, wait until she was in a better mood. There was no rush. Did the young lady look good that night? Wrongly has a black face and is absolutely terrified. He will forget what he looks like if he doesn't open any pot. I have a curious question. There is no guarantee of 100% contraception in this world. What would you do if a young lady came to your door with a pregnant belly? End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 780. Chapter 780, coming to the door with a big belly. Wrongly was startled when he was asked. He had not thought about this problem yet. When such a disaster-level scene appears in life, it will definitely have a huge impact on life. But if it really happens, how should we deal with it? This is not my decision alone, it depends on what the woman thinks. Let's talk, how do you deal with it? Qin Wan asked in a leisurely manner. At that time, she was so excited that she went to find Wrongly, but later she thought about it. What if Wrongly found it troublesome? Maybe he didn't want his life to change at all, so it seemed inappropriate for her to bring her children to the door rashly. She hadn't thought about it carefully. She was a little panicked at the time and subconsciously wanted to discuss what to do with him. If she wants to give birth to a child and doesn't want it, then give the child to me. I will bear everything about the child and give her a compensation. If she gives birth to a child and wants to keep it with her, then we will raise it together and I will pay the child support. Make sure they live a worry-free life. If she doesn't want children, then there will be no worries. After thinking about it, Wrongly could only solve it this way. You won't force her to have a child or not to have a child. Why should I do this? Wrongly frowned. I am also at fault. I still can't remember things. It's not me who is 10 months pregnant. I have no right to decide anything. I can only wait for others to decide before dealing with the aftermath. Although I have no feelings for her, but giving birth is like rebirth for a woman. She has to walk through the gates of hell, which will delay her studies, career, and life. The arrival of a child will also disrupt the rhythm of life. This is not my fault. Bear it. Who am I to ask others what to do? Qin Wan was a little surprised. She didn't expect that Wrongly, who had a rough temper and was very domineering at heart, could be so reasonable. This somewhat reversed her stereotype of Wrongly. After all, Wrongly's way of doing things has always deepened others' feelings towards him. The stereotypical person never thought he had such a soft side in his character. Even if the woman you hate is pregnant with a child, Then it's definitely my responsibility. I have no right to blame others, Wrong Li said lightly. No matter what, I am the beneficiary. Others were pregnant for 10 months, but I got a child with blood connection. What if she is pregnant, has no shortage of money, and secretly gives birth to a child? I don't know, what can I do? Qinwan actually knew his attitude. She was surprised and a little moved. She thought to herself that Wrong Li looked rough, but actually she was quite soft at heart. She should be quite happy to be his child. She would not deprive her child of the enjoyment of his father. The power of love just depends on her mood when to tell him. Wrong Li misunderstood what Qinwan meant. Are you going to tell the child's father? Just as the waiter was serving the food, he interrupted the conversation between the two. Qinwan said, I will tell you sooner or later, it depends on my mood. Wrong Li was silent for a moment. Then do you want to marry him? Why should I marry him? Did the young lady come to your doorstep because she is pregnant? Do you want to marry her? No, Wrong Li said in a deep voice. The young lady said, do you have to marry her? She has a baby and wants to give her a healthy home. What should you do? Your hypothetical situation does not exist. You are avoiding the topic, Qinwan said with a chuckle. Even if there is a 1 in 10,000 possibility, you must have a coping strategy. Isn't this your financial venture capital habit? I won't agree, Wrong Li said firmly. Marriage is not a child's play. You don't have to get married if you have children. Both parties can raise the children together, and there is no need to get married. Wrong Li, who grew up abroad, has different concepts from Chinese people. There are many unmarried men and women in foreign countries who have children and raise them together, and start their own families, without affecting the parents' love for their children. Oh! Qinwan propped up her chin. Keep your ideas and don't change your mind. End of this chapter.